So the Game Awards is
right.
happening the same day that Cyberpunk released the 10th, so Tuesday. And we're going to just go through the nominees, and we're going to say which ones we did vote for because we both already voted. So I'm going to start from...
I only voted for one because I forgot that the Game Awards existed.
We're going to start from the bottom because I want to save the best for last. So first, we're going to go best multiplayer. So the options were Animal Crossing, Among Us, Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone, Fall Guys, and Valorant. And I chose Among Us because it's the only one I've played. And that game is fun. And it blew up. I know you weren't a big fan of Among Us. You played?
No, I like watching YouTubers play it, but I've never enjoyed playing it myself.
I feel like out of all of these, the one that you've played.
I
feel like out of all of these, the one you've played is Warzone.
Wait, what'd you say?
I was saying out of all of these, I feel like the one
I've played Warzone. That's when I definitely played Warzone the most. I was gonna say I played Warzone the most. I played Fall Guys. I played Among Us. I actually played Fall Guys a lot back when it first dropped on PlayStation Plus. I was like, ooh, I really do like Fall Guys. It was a lot of fun. And then what were the other options?
Valorant and
Animal Crossing. Okay. I haven't played Animal Crossing. I wanted to play Animal Crossing. I don't have a Switch yet. Hopefully I'll get one soon. And I didn't play Valorant. I'm not a big fan of arena shooters. I've never been a big fan of hero arena shooters. I just got Overwatch, and Overwatch has been out for years and years and years, and I just got Overwatch. It's all right. I'm not a super big fan of those. I'd probably choose Warzone personally. I'm not a huge Call of Duty fan, and I do really, really, really love Fall Guys, and it's got a really inventive gameplay loop and everything. But just the amount of the amount of fun I have with my friends playing Warzone, and I feel like I don't have fun playing Fall Guys without my friends, but I'll have fun playing Warzone both with friends and alone. So I'm probably gonna have to choose Warzone for that.
But yeah, I'm just gonna go through the ones that we both honestly care for. Some of them are just stuff that I'm just like, yeah, these are just some of them about esports, and I'm just like,
I don't watch any esports at all, so yeah.
So one I'll just go through real quick is best role-playing game, and I chose the options were Final Fantasy, Genshin Impact, Persona 5 Royal, and Yakuza Like a Dragon, and Wasteland 3, and I chose Persona 5 Royal because, like I said, Persona 5.
And what was the last option?
The last one was, the last one on here is Yakuza Like a Dragon, but I said the Yakuza before Wasteland 3.
And you said that Genshin Impact was on there?
Yeah.
I'd probably choose Genshin Impact. I didn't play a lot of it, and I know I need to play more. I deleted it for Miles Morales. But
yeah, now this one goes is going to be full of games that both of us have played multiple times. So wow, I'm hating everything that's happening right now on my laptop, but I keep clicking things by mistake and reloading the page. Come on, let's not be weird. I'm gonna have to cut out these bits of silence. But
I would say there's we're gonna have to cut out quite a bit of this episode.
So the next one is best action adventure, and I told you who I voted for this before. We
agree on this one.
Yeah, we were recording, but I'm going to cut that part out because at the very beginning, I think I'm going to clip that. I'm going to start clipping the very beginning, when I start recording and before I go 3, 2, 1. I already clipped one of those and put them on YouTube because we had a little fun conversation at the beginning. I think I'm going to keep doing that. So, yeah, me and you agree. I chose Miles Morales. But I
would also choose Miles Morales.
The options were, I don't know, that might change if you know what the options are. Valhalla, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
It's not.
Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and The Last of Us Part 2. And I don't really think The Last of Us Part 2 is really much of an action adventure. But, yeah, we both chose Miles Morales. The next one for Best Action.
Yeah, that's not changing.
For Best Action, we had Streets of Rage 4, Neo 2, Half-Life Alyx, Hades, and Doom Eternal. I chose Doom Eternal. It's the only one of these that I've played, and I like it a lot.
Repeat those.
It was Doom Eternal, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, Neo 2, and Streets of Rage 4.
Doom Eternal.
So the next one, I voted The Last of Us Part 2. We had several conversations about it, and it's innovation and accessibility. I've talked about tons of times how accessible The Last of Us 2 is for people with disabilities. And the other options were Watch Dogs Legion, Hyperdot, I'm not sure what that is, Grounded, I've heard of that, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Have you seen anything in the settings that would suggest how accessible Valhalla is for people with disabilities?
Yes, actually, Valhalla. Before you even start the game, honestly, I was a little overwhelmed with the settings. Before you even start the game, you just kind of sit there and have to personally. You almost tailor the experience to yourself. You basically create the game that you want, or you make the game that you want to see basically in the beginning in the settings. You can change all the settings at any point in the game. It's quite extensive. As far as disabilities go, sorry, that was my mother sneezing in the background and she sneezed again. As far as accessibility for people with disabilities, I don't know that I don't know. I don't remember a lot of the settings that were there, so I can't say that it's great for people with disabilities or you know what I mean. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not. I'd have to go back and look at the settings. So for now, I'll just trust you with. I'll trust your choice.
Yeah. So for best performance, the options we have are Ashley Johnson as Ellie from Last of Us Part 2, Laura Bailey as Abby from The Last of Us Part 2, Daisuke Tsuji as Jin Sakai from Ghost of Tsushima, Logan Cunningham as Hades from Hades, and Najee Jeter as Miles Morales in Spider-Man Miles Morales. I chose Laura Bailey as Abby. I say Abby. I just like.
I'm automatically going with the guy that played Jin Sakai. His performance was
yeah. Jin Sakai was great.
Riveting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if they decide to continue the series. I personally want them to make.
They've hinted that it's going to be.
Yeah, I personally want them to make a Infamous game first and then another Ghost of Tsushima. But who knows if it'll happen that way. So.
Sorry, do you hear my mother sneezing in the background? Just quick question.
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, good. All right.
So
you can cut that little question out. But.
So for best art direction, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori Will of the Wisp, and The Last of Us Part 2. I voted for Hades because the just art and animation of Hades for me is it's gorgeous. And I also, because of it, I ended up looking up a bunch of stuff for who's been working on this so I can follow them and look at their art. And I ended up on their YouTube channel where they have videos talking about their art process. And it really gave me an insight into how they make their games. And I'm waiting for them to release an art book. They don't have an art book for Hades out yet, but the moment they do, I'm purchasing it. Runner-up for me was Ghost of Tsushima because they do have an art book out that I'm probably going to get eventually. And it's a beautiful game. Ghost of
Tsushima would be my number one for art direction. Automatically offer it.
For best narrative, we have, I don't know what this is, 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2. I personally chose The Last of Us Part 2. I feel like Naughty Dog games in terms of narrative are just some of the best in my personal opinion. And this one was just another, example of that. I feel like you might go Ghost.
You're gonna have to repeat that because
it's the options.
I'm sorry, I'm my mom.
The options for best narrative for I guess Ram, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades and The Last of Us Part 2. I said I voted for The Last of Us Part 2, and I said you probably.
I'm voting for Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. So for best game direction, we have Final Fantasy VII, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, and The Last of Us Part 2. I actually don't remember what I voted for this. I think this was another one that I voted The Last of Us Part 2 for, because I do remember, I think, specifically voting for four times for The Last of Us Part 2.
I would also vote for Ghost of Tsushima here. So
yeah. So for Game of the Year, we have Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades,
my answer.
Animal Crossing, and The Last of Us Part 2. Again, I voted The Last of Us Part 2. Like I said, I
would vote Ghost of Tsushima. Oh my God, what was that kickback?
Of all of these games in Game of the Year, I have a feeling are going to win at least one award. Each of these games are winning at least one award.
Personally, I would have voted Miles Morales for Game of the Year. Personally, like if that was an option.
Yeah, I think they didn't
because
of how late it came out.
Probably.
Also because it was probably just a stacked year, honestly. A lot of good games came out.
Not too many good games this year.
Yeah, that's probably why. Because it was definitely it's a short game, and it was definitely out long enough for them to consider it. So it was probably just that a lot of good games came out. And even though I'm not big into it, like somebody, I said this before, I think maybe the last podcast or the one before it, but someone said Animal Crossing will go down as one of the most important games in like history. And I was like, I don't know about that. And then I thought about it. And I was like, no, he's right. Because it has brought in a bunch of new gamers who never play video games. I mean, like people in their 60s who've never touched a game console will sit down and play Animal Crossing. And it's showing people how much of a healthy pastime sitting down and playing a video game can be when you're not doing it in excess and excessively. Excessively. I don't know. My words are being messed up. But yeah, that's it for the Game Awards so far.
So I'm not going to be watching the Game Awards because I'm going to be too entranced in Cyberpunk.
I'll definitely be watching it because I don't know. Let's just talk about some things that might be announced there. I think people have been saying it. I don't think it's going to happen, but people are like they might show God of War gameplay, and I don't know. But it is coming out next year, so I have a feeling they do have some type of trailer ready. If it's coming out next year, which is still insane in my mind, I'm like, is this going to be another Miles Morales situation? Because there's no way.
Yeah, because I was just thinking that as you were saying that. Like, what if they just release gameplay like a week before it comes out?
God of War came out the same year as Spider-Man, and then Miles Morales came out 2 years later, and it was only like a 10-hour game. So in my mind, I'm like, what if this game is like an Atreus game, and it's only like 10 hours long? Honestly, wouldn't be mad. And honestly, I wouldn't be really mad at if games started to release like mini games in between each release. I wouldn't be mad at that.
I wouldn't either. It would help expand the universe and stuff like that.
And we wouldn't have to wait as long to get another taste of that series.
Right.
Just like I feel like it really started with Uncharted. Uncharted started.
I was gonna say Uncharted Lost Legacy.
And now it seems like it might become a thing that PlayStation does a lot.